Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are talking about the other day. So, why the gateways are important and how to install and configure the gateways and how to check few scenarios in the gateways, right? So, we had seen couple of scenarios, and one scenario I think the other day we have tested was Excel with import, right? Because when you use any Excel, by default, any files will be, the data will get imported. What is the meaning of imported? All the copy of the data will be available in your RAM. So import means a copy of the data from the files will be taken, will get compressed, and all the data is going to be placed in the columnar database and which is available in your RAM, which a copy of the data. So when we go in for the direct query, when we have a large amount of data, for example, Power BI model can take only 10 GB of data maximum. So if you have 1 terabyte of data, so definitely we will not be able to get the data into the your Power BI model. So what normally we do, we don't use import. So that is when we're going to be using direct query. Okay, so today let us use one more option, one more scenario. Let us use with SQL Server import and direct query. Both of them will, test it. Then we'll have one more scenario with SQL and SQL, both of them. Clear? So let me quickly go and app.powerbi.com, right? So we have to install, I think the user 10 is having user 10 is having the gateway installed, or 11 is having gateway installed. Let me take this and try to use this, and password is, we know the password, India@12. Let me check in and test whether we have the enterprise data gateway is installed or not, right? So good morning, user 11 is showing. Now you go to the workspaces. The workspace is this, where we can create a lot of reports, and these are the data sets, right? So people have defined few data sets here. So you should be able to use them. But first of all, I need to check whether I have a data gateway or not. So how to check that? After going into this, you have to go to dot and settings and manage gateways. So when you see manage gateways, I don't have my data gateway here. Somebody is deleted, or it is not showing my data gateway. It is a Shiva, gateway is there, but I do not have my data gateway, right? If I do not have my data gateway, so I have to register this first, right? If I don't have it, I have installed it. How do you know whether it is installed or not? You need to go to start and say gateways, right? So when you say gateways, when I type gate automatically, which is showing on premises data gateway, that means which is installed. You can also check like this. Okay, go to control panel and uninstall programs, where you should be able to find out the data gateway is installed. But even though you have installed it, which is not showing here. So because my user ID is, let us say, 11. My user ID is 11, but I do not have this, license here. My the registered data gateway here. So how to check? Go here, go to settings and manage data gateways. I have Shiva data gateways. So one more students gateway is shown, but not mine. So how to use that? So if you've installed it, you need to configure it. So how to configure? Go to start, you say gateways. When you say gateways, you should be able to get your gateway. You need to configure this. Click on yes. Now I have to register this gateway. So now it is saying your gateway is all set up. Sign in. Only we need to do the sign in. Click on sign in option. So email address to sign in, I'm going to be using what? PBA user 11. Click next. So this is the gateway I have installed in my Kadar machine. I would like to use this data to export into Power BI model. So I have to register my gateway with the user. Okay, for example, my user ID is user 11. I'm going to be using this, right? So the password is India at the rate 12. All of them are small letters. Click on sign in button. So skip this for some time. And the user 11 is going to be getting the data gateways. Now, so was not found. Please try to configure the gateway version number. So register a new gateway on this computer, click next, and on-premises gateway name, let me give Kedar Gateway. Okay. So my computer name is Kedar, or you can give any name. For example, say Bhaskar Gate, Jogi's Gateway, Bhaskar Gateway, whatever you wanted to give. You can give the password which I was using always is only one password. You can change this password. So you can also change this password. So this is, you can have any other password. So click configure. My gateway name is Kedar Gateways. Okay. So that is the name, gateway installed. So the name of the gateway is what? Kedar Gate. We can give any name. You can give any name. So this is the name I have given. After installing, you have to configure it, right? So you need to sign in. So everything is in the gateway is online and ready to be used. Click on close. Now let me go here and refresh. When I refresh, I should be able to get one more data gateway here. So you should be able to see Kedar Gateway. So this is just now I registered it. I did not install. Previously, I had installed, simply I had configured, right? So now after creating a gateway, now what we do? Let us create a Power BI report. Power BI report. This time, I'm not going to be using Excel. I'm going to be using with what? I'm going to be using a SQL Server scenario, right? So that is the one I'm going to be using it. So yeah, so this is the one I'm going to be using it. So SQL Server with import. Let me quickly go to here and let me close and get the data from SQL Server. First time we'll use the import. The next time we'll use what? This one. Server name is dot, database name is, you can take one database, whatever be the database that you wanted to have it, you should be able to have it. So I would like to use, let us say Amazon, iBank, anything. Even you can create a simple database called employee database and have one table there. So you need not worry about, sir, I don't have iBank database, I could not do that. You can create a small table called employee table. So you can use that. So I'm going to be using iBank database. If it is there, not that doesn't matter. You can create your own database. Clear? So let me take one table and perform the operation. So iBank. This time I'm going to be using import. So you need to observe carefully. So what is that I'm using? Import. When to use import, you already know it, right? So using import is when you have limited data. You're assuming that you have less than 10 GB of data after compressing it. After compressing, so this is the one. So direct query is used if you have more than, let us say, 200 GB of data. Even though you compress, it will become 20 GB of data. When it will become 20 GB of data, you will not be able to store. So in your RAM. So what normally we do? We use the direct query. So from the database, we are going to be getting the data. We don't put data into our Power Pivot. So we have only the table structure, but data will not be there. So in the Power View, we can see the data. So data will not be there. Always you will be able to go here, get the structure and go and get the data from me. So data will not be saved in your RAM. So that is what is the direct query, right? So that's what is the point. Now I want to use import, click on OK. So you can take one table, two tables, that is your choice, right? So let me take only one table. So which table? So I'm connecting to iBank database. Come down. I wanted to use a table called a master table. You can use school case study table, right? You can use anything, school case study, or supplier case study, iBank case study, or you can create a simple employee table after creating your own database. Now click on load. I don't want to transform data. Click on load. So a master, please wait. It's going to be bringing some data. You can bring more than one table, two tables. You can have the joins and everything here, but I don't want to get all the data as of now. So I wanted to get only one table data, that is a master, right? It is a customer table data, so that I wanted to use it. Use iBank, right? So use iBank. So what is the table? Select star from the table name is this table, right? Let me execute it. I'm able to get some data here, and I wanted to also modify if you wanted to update. How to modify the data in SQL Server? Update. Now you say set. What is that you would like to update? So I wanted to update. So the name of the employee. So I have some data here. Let me keep the same data. So later I wanted to change it to a Biden. So as of now, it is Nehru. Now let me simply go there, and we are trying it out. SQL Server with import, right? Now using the gateways. Why gateways? To refresh the data automatically, right? So now let me go back here. So I wanted to get the data, and what is the total amount? Total amount is total balance I have. So total balance is this much, and let me go and have the border. So then I wanted to have a table. I wanted to have a table where account ID, then the name, simply select like this and see balance. Now, where is account ID? Account ID. Now, account ID is, it is account ID is don't summarize. You have to take this up. Okay. Take this to top so that you have a proper things. Now, if you wanted to take any other things, that is also fine. Okay. Now I wanted to go and increase the, have the border, then increase the style, change the style, increase the font and everything. Now flashy rows. I have some styles. Grid means whole table. So whole table data size I wanted to increase. So it is now 10. Let me make it to 20. Now I wanted to sort the data. So click on here, sorting. Okay. Click on sorting. So the first one is Nehru, right? So I have some data. Let me keep only this data. So fine. I wanted to save before, sending into, uh, where is that, before sending, before sharing, okay, before deploying, I wanted to keep this. Let me have SQL with import, okay? SQL with what? Import. That is what I'm going to be using. And this is iBank DB. You can give whatever the name that you wanted to give. And we're trying October 18th today, right? So 2021. You can give some names. SQL, import, iBank DB, blah, blah, blah. This is the project name, PBIX file. You need to store this locally before you sharing it. So save it. Done. After that, we have to deploy. So before deploying, you have to sign in. Who's the user who's going to be, deploying? So the user ID is which user? I'm talking about the user is user 11. So this is the user, right? So who's going to be, doing all these activities. Now make sure it is PBA user 11 is signed in. Otherwise, you need to sign out and sign in. Everything is happened. Let me publish. So where we're going to be publishing, let us use Flipkart WS. Okay. So Flipkart in a workspace, click select. Now publishing the report along with the data set. So what is the name? The name we know. So let me, the name is go to Flipkart WS. Now you should be able to find out, this is the new one. You should be able to get the separate symbol like this, saying that it is a new one. SQL import iBank DB. Just now we have created. Now 6:53, where the latest refresh time. 6:53. Nowadays 6:54. Let me go back to the content. The same name you should be able to get it. Let me see the show you the visualizations, right? So now it is Nehru. Now the data is getting changed. So when the data is getting changed, now let me update this. Now it has become Biden. So what is Biden? 101 earlier, 101 Nehru. Now it has become Biden. Even though you refresh here, nothing is going to happen. Why? Because if you wanted to get the data from on-premises database, on-premises means local computer. It is not there in the cloud or online, which is there in the local my PC. To get the data from the local machine to the Power BI cloud, so you need to have the data gateways. Now I have to go to gateways and configure. So where to go to gateways? Click on dot dot dot. Click on settings, manage data gateways. Now, which is the gateway I have installed? So this is the gateway I have installed. Clear? So everything is fine. Now click on, Kedar gateways. You should be able to get dot 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 open menu. Click on this, add data source. From which data source you supposed to get the data? From which data source you supposed to get the data? So the data source, let me say SQL and say iBank database. So let us say this is my data source from where I should be able to get the data, and select SQL, right? SQL server. So this is the SQL server from where I should be able to get server name is, this one, and database we know iBank. So authentication. What is the authentication? Whenever you connect, you will be able to get this window, right? What is authentication? Authentication is Windows authentication. Have you seen this? The same authentication you have to give. The authentication is what? Windows authentication, right? Whenever you connect, you should be able to get this authentication. What is authentication? We're having Windows authentication. We have Windows SQL Server authentication, Azure, and Azure. Lot of authentications are available, but normally this is the best authentication the SQL Server is using. Windows authentication. The same authentication we should be able to have it. Basic Windows, we have OAuth 2. So different authentications we have. Let me use Windows. Now, what is the username? What is the username? It is Kedar Bhaskar. So that is the complete name it is showing. The same thing I need to write it here. Kedar is my computer name, which is Windows name. Under that, what is the user ID I have connected using? Bhaskar. So the same thing we should be able to give, right? The password to log into my Windows. The password to log into my Windows is, I'm giving it here. Now skip test connection if you want to skip it. Otherwise, you can simply click on add. When you click on add, it should be able to connect successfully. If it is not able to connect successfully, I think you might not give this authentications properly. So my data gateway supposed to go to this and get the data, but this data supposed to be used by one report. Which is the report? You have to go to your Flipkart, right? So which report, so which data set is supposed to get the data? So this is the one. So data gateway using one connection, the connection is going to go to iBank. Now that has to be used in this. Clear? So now you go there, and now you should be able to refresh. But before refreshing, if you refresh, nothing will happen now. If you refresh, so refresh is done 6:57, but can we get the data? No, we will not be able to get the data because we are not configured properly, right? So still it is Nehru. So still it is Nehru, even though you refresh here. So if you wanted to get the data, so one more step is still pending, two-step process, right? One step, you need to add the data gateway here. So this is step number one. Step number one, when you go to Kedar, you should be able to get this. But this one need to be linked with your data set or your report. So to do that, go to your Flipkart workspace. Now go here, click on dot dot dot, click on what? Click on settings. Okay. So which is not showing, yeah, which is settings. Now here you should be able to get some more things here, right? So it's not showing. So you should be able to go to settings where we are going. We have to have the gateways here, right? So where is that? Manage permissions, create and view usage metrics settings. We should be able to get manage gateway here. Or let me click on this button. We should be able to get that option. Yeah, I think we should be able to get the data set. Yeah, this is where we have to, right? So we have to go here and yeah, we should be able to click on this one. So SQL import iBank DB October. So what we need to go? So you need to go to data sets. I was clicking on this and looking here, right? So this is the confusion every time you will have. So you need to understand where we are, clicking on. So data sets and data flows. And this is where you have to go to settings and you should be able to, close this and you need to connect. So how to connect that? You have to go to here, data gateway connection. So whatever be the gateway that you have created, that you have to use it here. Simply go and SQL IBAN data source that has been connected. So that you have to map. So which is running in Gather. What is Gather? Gather is my machine. So the data gateway has to be configured and installed and it has to run on the local machine. What is my machine name? My machine name is Gather. How do you see the machine names? Simply, you have to click on this folder and go to, your this PC. Now right click on this, go to properties. You should be able to know the machine name. What is the machine name? Gather. So how to see the machine name or how to see the configuration is very, very simple. You need to click on this link. Now click on this icon. Now go to this PC. Now you should be able to go to properties and you should be able to see the machine name of yours. And you can just copy this, right? So that has been done. Now we have mapped this. After mapping this, simply you go here. You should be able to refresh. Okay. So go here and you should be able to refresh this. So which is refreshing manually. Now it is 7 o'clock, right? So it was 6:57 when the last time it got refreshed. It will take some more time to refresh it. Right. So after refreshing, we have to go and get the latest data. What is the latest data? The latest data is the Biden. So earlier we had Nehru, now still being refreshed. Still being refreshed. Now it is refreshed 702. Now refresh is happened. Now go back and let me go here. Still it's Nehru. You should be able to click on this or you should be able to click on this page refresh. This is a Power BI refresh button. So refresh this. You should be able to get the Biden now. Have you seen this? Now it is happening properly. So simply you go back and you change this to, let us say, Modi. So I want to modify this and I want to change this. Now I should see the latest one and simply refresh button will not work. Simply refresh button will not work. You need to schedule it every time manually. Nobody is going to be refreshing. So you have to schedule it to scheduling purpose. So we have to go. So this is the manual refresh. We have to go to schedule refresh. So when you go here, so there is a schedule refresh options are available. So let me make it on. So daily, 8 times per day we can refresh. So you can have this time. So add another time. So you can have so early morning 1 o'clock and early morning 10 o'clock you would like to refresh once. The next one you wanted to refresh at 4 o'clock in the evening. So you can refresh So at 10 a.m. in the morning, then next one is 4 p.m. The next one is, let us say 7 p.m. Like that, you can have some schedules, right? The next one you wanted to give again, 11 p.m. Like that, you can give some schedules. After that, again, 1 a.m. I wanted to refresh. So like that, you should be able to give some methodology. So per day, you can have maximum 8 refresh options. Okay, 8 refresh options you can give per day when you're using a Pro. Premium means you can go in for 48 times refresh. Okay, so how many times we can refresh? So how many times we can schedule per day? Pro license 8 times, premium licenses 48 times. What is the interval for one schedule to another means minimum 30 minutes. So you cannot have every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. So that is the thing. So no limitation for the manual refresh. Every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes you can refresh. But when you go in for schedules, what will happen? So you have to have only 8 times per day. You can have the refresh, schedulings. Premium license 48 times. So one refresh to one more refresh is 30 minutes is the minimum gap you need to give. We had given 1 hour gap. So otherwise minimum 30 minutes, gap is required. No limitation for the manual refresh. So even though it is there, if you wanted to refresh manually, so still you can just go back and refresh it manually. Now you should be able to get the latest data, and you should be able to go here and check on the latest data by clicking on this button. So this is how you should be able to work with what? A SQL. Am I clear? So next time what I wanted to use SQL with direct query. So let me close this, save this. So the next option I'm planning to use now is that what is the next option? SQL Server import is used. SQL Server with direct query, I would like to use it. Let me get new Power BI desktop. The Excel with import we have done, right? We had, I think, completed the other day. The next one is the SQL Server with direct query. So this time, let me use any other database. Whatever be the database that you wanted to have, you should be able to have this. So you can create your own database. Don't ask me, somebody is calling me in midnight, sir, I don't have this database to check it out. You can create your own table, man. Okay, so it is not that you need to have the same database, whatever I'm using. Simply create one employee table and work with this. So what is that? So if I refresh every time manually, the data will not change, right, sir? Then why we need to refresh manually? You need not refresh. Nobody is going to be there to refresh. Just I want to show you whenever you refresh, it has to get the data. Clear? So manually option is there to testing purpose, whether it is happening or not. Clear? Manually we are checking why? Only for the testing purpose. In the real time, nobody is going to be doing manually. Lakshmi, am I clear? So manually I'm checking because test it. So whether everything is properly is happening. Only for the testing purpose, we use manual options. Clear? In the real time, we are going to be using only automatic refresh. That's what is the point. So the next one, I'm going to be using SQL Server. This time, I don't want to use import query, direct query. Import, I'm not going to be using. This time, let me choose one more database. So any other database, if you have school database, you can have it. You can have Amazon. So you can go in for Amazon data warehouse, whatever. So don't ask me. Many people will call me, sir, I don't have Amazon database. I could not do that. If you don't have Amazon database, create one small database. Let me create one small database. Otherwise, people will not use their brain. So if the database is not there, they don't create. So create one small database. Okay, database called company database. You can create small database. What is that? Creating a database is already there. Okay, if it is there, then ignore this. So create one small table in it. So you can create a small table. So we have some employee table. If you don't have it, you can create one table. So don't ask me, sir, I don't have this database. Can you just give me? Create one small table with 3 columns. So select star from employee. So why it is showing? Because I am pointing to iBank. So I have to say use what now? Company. So this is the database I'm going to be using. Guys, I'm telling you, don't ask me this database. Okay, I have couple of data. If you don't have, you create a small table and insert some 2-3 rows. Don't ask me and this database. Okay, sir, I don't have a company database. Please give it to me. Don't ask me, guys. You create a small, table like this, insert some data. I have some data here, so I'm planning to use this. So you assume that company database have, terabytes of data. What is the data? Terabyte of data. That data I cannot get it using import. So import means copy paste the complete data from source system to a Power BI model, Power BI RAM. Power BI will not have RAM. The computer will have a RAM, but maximum 10 GB, the Power BI can use it. Now company database, use direct query, click on OK. Okay. Now let me connect and get the table. So I can choose one of the table. So it's going to be bringing all the company, right? So I'm going to be using which table? So employee table, use this table, load the data. I don't have any other thing apart from this table. If you don't have it, create a small table with 2 columns, 3 columns, employee ID, employee name, employee salary. So that's it. So you create one table, it's getting the data, creating a connection in model, right? Now let me create some visualizations. What is the total salary? So double click on this. So total salary, some 3K only. So go and have some border, right? So let me also have some table. Employee ID, you check it. Now you say don't summarize. Employee name, employee salary. I have only this much of a data, right? So let me go and style flashy rows, okay? And the grid means whole table. Grid means what? Whole table. I wanted to make it to, let us say 20. This is my complete data. Let me have the border. So click on this, go here, click on the border. Border is on. Let me save this. So how to save? It is SQL, not with import. SQL with what? Direct query. So which is not going to load any data to your RAM. So that is the meaning. So SQL direct query company DB October 18th. Fine. So after that, what normally we do? We need to connect, already connected, simply publish. So where we're going to be publishing to, let me use one more, or you can use the same one, whatever you would like to use it. Or let me use one more, Bhaskar Jogi WS. I wanted to have it here. So click on select. You can have anywhere. You can have it anywhere. So there's no problem at all. So open. So it is done. Let me go here. So I wanted to go to workspaces. This time go to Bhaskar Jogi workspace. So this is where I have to work with this. But before, refreshing this, I have to use what, data, the gateways. So to configure that, click on dot, 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 click on settings, click on manage data gateways. Now this time I want to use Gather, but Gather I need to create one more connection, right? So already we have this. Let me use one more connection, add data source. So this time I'm using which one? SQL company, right? So you can have any name. So whatever SQL company data source. Okay. So this is the data source I'm going to be using, and SQL Server, press S. Press S, so that S, you will be able to get your SQL Server. Server name is dot or Kedar, local SQL Server. The database name is called company. So you should not give the wrong names. If you're not able to get the proper names, simply copy like this, or simply go there, right click. When you right click, you will be able to have a rename. Control C, copy this and go here, Control V. This is the better thing. Now, authentication, we know, right? Authentication is what? Windows authentication, the password. So how to get the authentication means go to connect database engine. Now you will be able to get. So the dot Windows authentication name, Kedar Bhaskar. So the same thing you need to provide, Kedar Bhaskar. And if you're not able to type, copy it. Copy this and you should be able to, get it. So Kedar Bhaskar, the password which I'm using to log into my computer. So click on add. Now you should be able to get connection successful. Whether it is a import or data query, the way in which you create the connection is the same way. Now this one I'm going to be using as part of my Bhaskar Jogi workspace. Let me go here. So there is a report just now got created. So in this, I'm going to be using. So go to datasets, data flows. Earlier, I was looking into this and there was no settings, no option here, right? So this was the option I was getting because I forgot to go to this. So click on this. Now click on dot, dot, dot. So go to settings. That one you have to refer it here. Okay. So where to refer? So come down, data gateway connection. So here you clearly see company. So you observe, so SQL Server company data is also, okay. Have you seen this? It is showing this now running on Gather. So this time I'm not using iBank company. Clearly, if you give the proper names, you should be able to understand, add it here. So click on apply. Right? So you are able to get the data. It is not going to keep the data in your RAM. So always when you refresh, it is going to go where? Going to go to the SQL Server, get the latest data directly, and it is going to show it in the Power BI reports. There is no data will get loaded to my RAM. Clear? So it is being applied. Let me go back to my workspace. Now this is the one I wanted to refresh. Now what is the data? I have it here. Let me cancel this. I have John Aman 1000 2000. So I don't refresh anything. Just go back and click on this. I should be able to get 1000 and 2000 here. Okay. So 1000 and 2000 here. So every time it is going to go to where? It is going to go to the data gateway. Using the data gateway, it is going to go to SQL Server table, gets the latest data, gets the latest data. So that is what you should be able to understand. Okay, guys. So this is what we have to test it. Please wait. Now, it is able to get the same data, right? Now I have to refresh it. So I have to change this first. So how to change? We know we need to say update which table? Update employee table. Whatever you would like to set salary. I would like to update salary to, let us say 5,000, where employee ID is equals to 1. So one salary, press F5, press F5, it has become 5,000. Now total will become 7,000. So you need to go, and what you do, you have to go here and you need to click on this button. So always we may go here. You have to go to this and click on refresh now. Okay. Testing purpose we use this. Otherwise we have to go for here and schedule refresh. Clear? Now refresh is happened. Now it is 718. Now it is not getting changed because it is not going to get any data from here and it is not going to keep any data here. So the refresh time is is, when you refresh, it is not changing the time because it is not going to load the data. Let me go back here and check whether it's getting latest data or not. When you go back here and when you refresh the page, so automatically you should be able to get 5,000 here. Now you should be able to go and modify this to 8,000. And I wanted to modify the EMP name as well here. Okay. EMP name as well here. So EMP name, so John or Aman. So instead of Aman, I say Salman Khan. Okay. I wanted to use the different name here for the employee number 2. So data is got modified. So to bring the data, let me directly go here. So even though you don't schedule refresh it, you should be able to get the data because it is not going to keep any data anywhere. Direct data it is able to bring. But to bring the data, you have to have what is called this. Even though you don't schedule it, there's no problem here. So that is one more advantage. Even though you don't schedule it here, you don't worry it here. But instead, when you're using import, definitely scheduling is very, very important because it is going to be deleting the data from where? Deleting the data from the RAM and going to keep the data, one more copy of the data. So in the RAM. So when we go in for direct query, even though we don't schedule anything, when you simply refresh here, it is able to bring the data. So that is one more advantage. Okay. So if you can simply go and make this to 10,000 or 12,000. So I don't want to refresh anything. I don't want to refresh anything. Simply go here and this refresh I'm using. I'm not going to be going here and I'm not refreshing this button. Okay. It is not going to get any data and it is not going to keep any data anywhere. Simply go to your report and report, simply you refresh it. The latest data is going to come in. So that is the beauty about this. It is going to work. But to bring the latest data, you have to have the gateway to be configured and the file, the path has to be configured. So those settings have to be done. Without that, you will not be able to get the data. This extra data, going here and refreshing, that can be ignored. Okay. Otherwise, you should be also, have the schedule refresh because sometimes what the end user will do, they don't refresh and they will say that it is not getting the data. Every time you cannot tell them that you need to refresh. Sometimes they'll forget. So whether they refresh or they don't refresh, you refresh the data set here. That will be the better thing. Okay. So we can also have the schedule refresh buttons and everything available. So this is the one more scenario that I'm going to be using now. So this is the next option is both. What do you mean by both? So I wanted to use SQL and Excel and I'm going to be using import, or you can have one is in indirect SQL, you can have, import and you can have direct query. So it doesn't matter. So the next time I'm going to be using the Power BI report. Okay. So all these things you should be able to easily check it out. Yeah, we are going to be using refresh. Okay, depends upon the schedule, depends upon the requirement, right? So we had some customers, they're going to be refreshing the data every 3 months. When I was working with Microsoft, we had data sets coming from China, Dublin, German, all the data we used to get it in Hyderabad campus. I was using a big, data warehousing server. We used to refresh once in 3 months. So it depends upon your criteria. So now, but nowadays Power BI means people may refresh more, every day once or, 2 days in once or every early morning. So like that, people are going to be refreshing. Depends upon their requirements. All the things are available. You should be able to refresh once and just leave it. It's not a big deal now. So how to refresh? Now this time I wanted to get one Excel file. So go to here, let me have one Excel file. If you can create one Excel file, prod sales, one Excel file I'm taking. I have production sales here. Let me take this file data. Don't ask for this file. Small, 1, 2, 3 lines. You can have, let us say column name is A, B, C. You can have some data and work it. Okay, so you need not worry about, sir, I don't have the data file. How do you work? You create a simple file, employee ID, employee name, employee salary, have 2 rows. That's it in Excel and save the file and use the file. That's it. So it is, we are not talking about anything else, right? So that is the thing. So this, we are able to get the data from here, and I create a Excel visualizations here. Now I wanted to use this total sales border. Now, one more thing I would like to use, this is a table. Okay, so let me have a product name and sales, right? So product name and sales, I can have it. Now, this is the one thing. So have the border first. Now style, you can have any style that you wanted to have it. And grid, I can have a grid like this, right? So grid means entire table. So this is some data I'm planning to have it here. Now let me increase the, yes. Okay. I have WK some data. I'm having it. Let me use this data. Now let me get one more copy of the data using SQL Server. You can have import or direct query, doesn't matter. Dot, and you can have a database called Amazon. So you can have a different database. Don't ask me, sir, I don't have this database. You can create a small database and have some 2 to 3 rows, and any table name you can create. You can have different names. So I'm going to be using import here. You can have any other database name. Okay. So I have one ready-made database called Amazon. Use Amazon. Okay. Now I wanted to take one table from Amazon. You can have your own database, guys. And I have a couple of tables. One table I would like to take is the product master table. Let me take this table and let me configure. Let me check what is the data habits. Okay. Now the name is the name of the this one. Okay. So I want to have the name and the product ID. Product ID is 1, and you can change some name later. So this is the data I'm going to be having it. Let me go and use the product name. You can have sales table if you want to, but let me take only one and create some visualizations. Create some visualizations. So create some visualizations here. So this time I'm going to be using Excel as well as SQL Server. Like that, we can have SAP data, any data you can bring it. So getting data is very, very easy. Simply give the connection name and get the data. So people may ask you, do you know how to connect with SAP? What is that? Server name you should know, database name you should know. That's it. Do you know how to get the data from Oracle? Yes, server name and database name and authentication details. So getting data from anywhere is very easy, not very complex at all. Clear? I have the table, but this is coming from where? It is coming from earlier. Now we can have the visualization here, or we can have the visualization elsewhere also. That is your choice. We can also have the visualization here, get the data. Now this data, drag and drop the total pricing. Okay, the price is total this much. Now, whatever you want to have it, you can have it here, or you can go and have one more name. So what is that? You would like to have a table. So in the table, I would like to have a product ID, product name, product price, whatever you would like to have it. So product ID, don't summarize it. Product price, I would like to have it. Now increase the font and everything. So go to format and have the border. Just go up change the style to which style? So flashy rows, and grid means complete table. So in the complete table, the text size I'm going to be increasing. So something like this. So you can have the name of the product and price and blah, blah, blah. So fine. Now it is, you need to save this. Now we can say, what is the name? The name is, it is SQL and what? You can say Excel underscore SQL and prod sales and which database? Amazon DB. So you can give any name. So prod sales and Amazon DB I'm going to be using. Okay. So some meaningful name you can just give Amazon. Okay, Amazon DB. So today I have created, let me publish this. Click on publish button. So where in Bhaskar Jogi, or you can create your own workspace if you want to create. So I'm going to be using Bhaskar Jogi. So click on select. You can have your own workspace. So if you want to create and then you go and you should be able to refresh once, right? So when you refresh, you should be able to get the things done. So which is the one Excel and import. So this is the data sets I have created. Reports also on top of the data sets been created. Now I have one. One is Excel here and the second one is SQL. So both, so sheets are available. So I have two sheets. One is Excel and SQL. So you will be able to see both sheets here, all the pages. Go back here. Now I wanted to first where I have to go here, go to settings and give the connections, manage gateways. Now I have to go to Kedar machine and create one more gateway. So go click on dot 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 add data source. One is Excel data source I need to add. Okay. One more data source I need to add SQL server. That's it. So one Excel is a prod. Okay. Sales. So this is a file. What is the full path? How to get it? So simply go here, go to data source settings. Now you should be able to go. There are two connections. Have you seen it? One is Excel. Click on change source. Copy this. Okay. Cancel this. Now you go back. Sorry, you have to go back here and give it the path. Windows authentication. We know what is authentication. Always, if you don't know the authentication, so you can get the authentication name because Excel will not show the authentication name, but SQL will show all the authentication. Same authentication for Excel, everything, because end of the day, this is your machine. So the authentication will not change whether it is SAP or whether it is anything. Authentication for your authentication means your user ID and your computer name. Remember that your user ID, your computer name is called authentication. Authentication to your computer. Using your computer, you can connect to anything. You can connect to Excel, you can connect to .NET, you can connect to Java, you can connect to SAP. So same authentication for everything. So the password that I'm using to connect to my computer, so it is Windows password and click on this. So it is not able to connect. So as of now, you skip this. When you skip it, this is the better thing to use it. So you don't get any kind of an issues. That's fine. Excel, you need to create one more. What is that? So add data source. This time I have to use SQL Amazon. SQL plus Amazon. I'm going to be using it. So DB source or data source, whatever be the name, right? Now you go this time SQL Server. SQL Server name dot or computer name, database name Amazon. Okay. If you are not able to type properly, I told you one shortcut. So what is the shortcut? Go here, right click, rename and control C and control V. Okay. Authentication, always Windows is the better one. The password is gather, the Windows authentication user ID and the password. The password to log into my computer, you can click on this if it is working fine. So details, we could not register the data source, for instance, cluster, blah, blah, blah. So skip this as of now. Let us have, if I have some issues, okay? So let me use gather password and let me have the password. This time it is successful, no problem at all. I have created these two. After that, you need to go to your workspace and you'll go to your data set. Which is the data set? This is the data set. So you have to click on dot, dot, dot. Now, okay. So now for go to settings. Now give the connection. So data gateway connection. Now you have two things by default it is showing. One is called Amazon, one is called prod sales. Give that connection there. Excel prod sales, this connection SQL, Amazon DB source. That's it. So both of them it is showing for the user 11. Click on apply. Am I clear? So yeah, you can just skip. You can skip barrel. Don't worry about it. So we had done the connections. Then go to. So we have to go to where Bhaskar Jogi. Now you have to refresh. Without refreshing, just go and open this Excel and this one. Let me show you the data. So I have the legend is the product. This is the book name. So the Flipkart is selling. All right. So I have Dove UK, some data I have Dove UK laptop. Let me modify everything. Let me go and go to product sales. Where is the product sales? D drive, PBI data source. Now this is where I have some data. Okay. So let me say Dove UK. Let me make it to Dove India. Okay. I have a pen German. So something like this, I would like to modify. Let me make it to 5,000. Let me make it to 4,000. Let me make it to 15,000. Something like that. I wanted to make save changes and close this. So the data got modified here. So the next data I would like to modify in this. Okay. The first name is called legend. Let me say the book name is called The Secret. This is the book name. So it is $15 or 15 rupees, something like this. Let me modify this. It has become The Secret now, right? So let me go back. And if you simply go and refresh, nothing is going to happen, right? So it has to be, you have to go back to here. It has to be refreshed in this. Simply go here, go to Excel and SQL and click on this button first. It is going to be refreshing now. Check this time, 7:29. Now it is 7:37. 7:36. It's telling me some issue. Select warning icon to view. So it is a warning only. It is not an error, but let me check whether it's getting imported or not. So the legend coming from where? From the database. Now let me refresh this. Legend has to become what? Refresh. So let me refresh this. It did not get refreshed. Let me go back. So go here. Let me go back and refresh. So what is the time now? 7:36. Let me refresh once again. Let us see. There is a security or access. Some things are getting. So 7:38 is fine. Let me go back and open this file. WK. So let me, sometimes it is giving the permission issues. Go give access to specific people. Everyone is there. Asker is also owner, and who else? Let me go and give some permissions. It's not open this. So let me right click on this and give access to specific people. So this is the one. Who's that? The guy. Create a new user. Windows. Add a Windows. See this. So there's a permission related access is getting these issues. Let me give the permission to give access to specific people. Run this and share. Let me close this and let me go back to settings here. Some of them are getting the same issue, right? We have to Google it. Manage gateways. Let us see what is the gateway that we were using. Excel is one thing. The Power BI service does not report gateway live. Restarting the Windows service might allow the communication to be successful. Windows service and ఇది చేయాలి మనం, okay? Restarting Windows service might allow the communication to be successful. So Windows service or login username, this could be one problem. Unable to connect to the database. So there are a couple of connections, couple of settings that you do it, guys. So I don't have time to do that, but let me refresh once again. So it is the same thing. Amazon is fine. So when we refresh something here, we will be able to get the fresh data here. But this is the, I think I have closed it. Okay, so you tested once again. We need to troubleshoot. That is the Windows credential. Earlier it was working, now it stopped working. When I took one file from here, so app.powerbay.com, it was getting now. Let me go and app.powerbay.com and log in with this. Let me test it. So click on yes. It is only the Windows login issues. Go to your data set. Now go and refresh once here. Still the same problem. There is a Windows credential issues. We need to troubleshoot it. They're saying you restart the Windows services. So go to services.msc. All these things we need to troubleshoot it. Services, we need to go to services. Windows services is there, is asking us to restart. Go to W. W means Windows. Okay. Where is Windows service? Windows installed we have. Windows service. Windows update is there. Windows update medic service. Windows search. You're saying to restart this service, okay? Windows search is there. Sometimes this is the Windows audio, Windows backup, Windows event log, Windows installer, Windows service. So somebody saying you just Google it and try to, check it out guys once. I will also look into that issue. Okay. So because of that, it is not happening, but still we should be able to try it out. We'll try it out tomorrow also. The time permits. Clear? Let me Google it today. Chalo guys. It's Power BI service, is it? Okay. Power BI service. So it's saying some configurations, right? So see the get help. It is no known issues. Power BI running smoothly. But what is the issue? Power BI customers opening experience progress beyond building a workaround. Customers can upgrade their workspace too. So this could be this will remove the impacted users V1 workspace. It's given the app using the list update there. So everything is no known issues and so there is no problem at all. That's what it's saying, but it is not getting refreshed. Chalo, we'll look into that. So this is how you should be able to perform all these buttons and all these scenarios and how to use these different settings we discussed. And you need to try it out without fail, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so one more thing. So if you wanted to share the data gateways, so one more thing we need to, what? If I have only one gateway per user, I can use it. But I would like to share the gateways. I would like to share the gateways. How to use the, gateways with others. That is also one more small topic. Let me have it. It is very simple. So, for example, I'm using here logged in as a Bhaskar Jogi. So, in the same laptop, you can also log in as a John. I can give the same laptop. You will have your user ID and password. I will, log the laptop and give it to you. You can log into, John, and you should be able to use this. Log into my computer using a John, right? So, now how to use the same Kedar gateway installed by user 11 and user 12 wanted to use that. It's very simple. The user 11 has to go to here. So user 11 is installed, right? So what is my mail ID? User 11, right? The user 11 wanted to give the permission to others because user 11 has this data gateways, right? So when I go to data gateways here, you will be able to see that Kedar gateway, but user logs in app.powerbi.com. Let me log out. Let me sign out here. Now use different user. Let me use user 12. Okay. So let me use user 12 here. You wanted to use it. So this guy does not have the permission to access this. So when we use another user, I think we have configured this guy, right? So India at the rate 12. Let me sign in. Skip for this. So user 11 is available. Let me go and settings, manage gateways. Now you don't have anything. You don't have a Kedar gateway for this guy. But how can I give Kedar gateway to him? So you have to log into this guy. So this guy is called Levin. So this guy has to give the permission. So you need to go click on this. When you click on this, so go where? Go here. Where I am? I am in the user 11 now. I am in the user 11. So go here, go to settings and manage gateways. Come to Kedar gateway and click on I wanted to use user 12 here, and okay, click on add. So this is the one I have to use it. So these two are called administrators, user 11 and 12 administrators. Now I have to go and refresh this. Okay, I have to simply go there and refresh so that this guy should be able to use the same gather gateway. Now I'm in which one? User 11. So user 11 is able to get gather gateways. Now it is going to be getting all the connections and everything. So this is how one user can share his gateways to another, but both of them have to use the same computer, because data gateway can be installed where in my computer. How many times I can install any software? Only one time we can install the software, but both users have to use it. So install only one, configure only one, but that one user can share it to multiple users, but all the people are going to be using my computer. Why? Because data from my computer has to go to the cloud. So if I wanted to get the data from my computer, I have to have the data gateway there itself. I cannot use, in your machine, and I cannot use the data gateway installed in your PC, and I cannot access it here. That is not the thing. So wherever you're getting the data, from where you're getting the data, in that machine only you have to have the data gateway software to be installed. Clear? For example, tomorrow I'm using your laptop and you're also using your laptop. So how many times you can install? Only once. So what you do, you will be the administrator initially because you have installed the software. Then you create a user ID in Windows, you can give it to me. So I will be able to use the user ID, and I will be able to access your gateway and transfer the files from your computer. So you're using, some files, I'm also using my files, but both of us are working in your PC only. Clear? So one computer is used by many people, but need not install many gateways. One gateway needs to be installed by any software can be installed only once. So in your laptop, so I can install the software, but you can, use the same data gateway software. So this is the one that you should be able to use, and you should be able to work with that. This is what is called, access the data gateways or share the data gateways across all users, but all users must be using your computer only. If they're using their computers, and so from where you're getting the data, in that machine data gateway software has to be there. So without that, only sharing one PC to one PC will not be applicable, will not be supported. Clear, guys? So these are the things that you need to try it out.